Philippine Tzu Chi volunteers hold an aid distribution to assist residents who were affected by a typhoon during Christmas. Tzu Chi Senior High in Hualien, Taiwan signed a sister school alliance agreement with 10 schools in the county. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Marilee Shioda. Thank you for joining us. We begin today's program in the Philippines. Typhoon Knock 10, known locally as Typhoon Nina, made landfall over Catanduanes on December 25th this past year. As it brought great damage to local residents, Tzu Chi volunteers reached out to help. After surveying the disaster areas, volunteers held an aid distribution, including giving victims emergency money to get through the days ahead.
Tapeo is leading Tzu Chi volunteers to the place where she stays temporarily. The heavy rainstorm brought by Typhoon Nina swept away her home where she used to live with her 6 grandchildren. She built this temporary shelter with bamboo and leaves. The only thing that is valuable now is this rabbit.
Originally, I wanted to sell our pet rabbit because we had nothing to eat, but volunteers made me realize the cause and effect since the life of the rabbit is also important.
Volunteers have shared with Tapeo stories and teachings of the Buddha. Besides inspiring her to cherish life, volunteers also tell her that the voucher can help solve her difficult conditions.
If I get some money, the first thing I'll do is run a business. After earning some money, I can use it to repair my house.
Typhoon Nina severely affected Catanduanes as they caused more than 1,000 families to be homeless and many agricultural lands were damaged. As it is difficult for these typhoon survivors to rebuild their homes, Tzu Chi decided to distribute emergency money to them, meeting their needs and easing their worries.
I can't believe how much money we have received from Tzu Chi. We'll never forget this.
I am unable to express my gratitude because we can finally rebuild our home now.
As typhoon survivors cannot imagine the assistance they have received from Tzu Chi, each one of them is willing to help the needy by donating some of their coins. The secretary of the Philippine Climate Change Commission is also surprised to see everyone's instant reciprocation.
It was not just a distribution of goods, rather they actually changed people's mindset. It was very touching for me when people started contributing as well.
Now able to help the less fortunate, these typhoon victims can finally bravely face their future.
Tzu Chi volunteers from Singapore recently traveled to Colombo, Sri Lanka to host an aid distribution for the impoverished students from St. John's College. After receiving the school supplies, all of the students and their parents felt grateful to have Tzu Chi's assistance in their life.
In Colombo, Tzu Chi volunteers make their way to St. John's College, which has 100 years of history, to distribute school supplies to 40 impoverished students.
This event today is very meaningful and it allows us to meet each other. Thank you, Tzu Chi Foundation, for assisting 40 students at our school.
On this day, all of the students and parents wore formal suits to show their respect and gratitude.
These stationary school bags and shoes are important as we continue our education.
Today I have received textbooks, colored pencils, a school bag, and shoes. I feel very happy.
I have 5 children, but I am unable to buy all of the school supplies for them. This is a great help to us.
Thanks for all the kind-hearted people who have helped us. You have improved our financial condition. Now, with your assistance, parents will no longer need to worry about children's education.
Volunteers collaborate with other kind-hearted people to plant seeds of love in the young minds at this historical school.
To safeguard the health of recycling volunteers and help loosen up their muscles, the Bambam Recycling Station in Malacca, Malaysia provides yoga class. It was originally difficult for most of the elderly volunteers to bend and stretch their body, but after nearly 2 years of classes, all of them have felt the full benefits of the exercise.
As always bending over to source recyclables may make one's body ache. Therefore, the Bamban Recycling Station in Malacca provides yoga classes.
I was thinking that since they're old and they keep doing recycling, their body must ache. So I told them that if there's a place, I can teach them yoga.
After hearing her say this, I certainly feel quite happy.
Stretching limbs, learning to inhale and exhale while tightening the tummy are not easy tasks for these recycling volunteers.
You can see that I am unable to follow them. I can only watch by the side.
Most of them are unable to bend their body nor stretch their arms. I told them to take it easy, and I kept encouraging them.
But after nearly 2 years of practice, all of the recycling volunteers are able to do the yoga poses.
I no longer feel painful in the joints here because I have loosened up tight muscles.
I was unable to kneel down when my leg was injured, but after practicing yoga, I can kneel down now. I can also lift up my leg.
Originally, everyone's muscles were very tight, but after learning to do yoga properly, all of them feel very happy because they no longer feel stiff in their bodies.
Stretching the body not only helps loosen up tight muscles, it can also give these recycling volunteers more strength to safeguard the Mother Earth.
Staying in Malaysia, Tzu Chi Care recipient Lo Ming-ping was diagnosed with lupus when she was 19. 12 years ago, Tzu Chi volunteers from the Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter began to provide her with monetary aid and companionship. Now she gives back to society by doing recycling and donating money to help the less fortunate.
Since there are many people helping me, how can I not strive to survive? I must stay alive until the age of 80.
Tzu Chi Care recipient Lo Mei-ping was diagnosed with lupus at the age of 19. Even though she's already 64 years old this year, she's optimistic about her life.
Now I have a commitment in my heart because I'm doing something meaningful. I don't like sitting there and waiting for something the whole day.
As Miss Lo's health condition is unstable and she suffers from leg ulcers, she has to go to the hospital frequently. However, she lives positively and she never surrenders to her illness.
Because there are many people helping me, I'm unwilling to be defeated by the illness. I must strive to survive so that it will be worthwhile for others to help me.
Since 2005, Tzu Chi volunteers have started to care for Miss Lo. Besides providing her with monetary aid, volunteers also frequently invite her to attend Tzu Chi activities. With the company of Tzu Chi for many years, now Miss Lo wants to help the needy.
Regardless of the amount of money, if I have some coins, I'll put them into the coin bank. I'm doing this because I want to do some good deeds. Since people helped me before, now I want to help others.
Miss Lo seizes every moment to showcase the value of life, as she not only saves money, but also does recycling to help those in need. Normally, she may source recyclables at home and later give them to the recycling station. After receiving the love and assistance from the society, Miss Lo now acts to reciprocate by helping the less fortunate.
Faced with lower birth rates, Hualien County's public schools saw just 2,300 new students enrolled this year. Of the 103 public and private elementary schools in Hualien County, some 2/3 only have enough students for one class of each grade. To give these students a better studying environment, Tzu Chi Senior High School, affiliated with Tzu Chi University, signed a sister school alliance agreement with 10 of these elementary and middle schools in the county.
Hualien Shoulin Elementary School currently only has 68 students, with nearly all of them being of indigenous heritage, as the school takes pride in promoting its unique heritage.
In the past, Hualien Elementary School has promoted a number of indigenous activities, such as the 100-person marimba, as well as traditional archery and weaving courses, and we have added drum instruction.
With fewer children in Hualien County, some 2/3 of the 103 elementary schools have only one class of students each grade. In addition to promoting special characteristics of each school, children's moral and character education is also an important point of emphasis.
School teachers are not only responsible for providing a curriculum for kids to learn, but also course content and related educational activities. They even need to provide special care to some children who may lack love and trust from their family.
In order to promote moral education in these schools, the Tzu Chi Senior High School affiliate with Tzu Chi University signed a sister school alliance agreement with 10 domestic primary and middle schools, with the hope of sharing resources to provide students with the most complete and comprehensive educational environment.
We look forward to helping teachers develop strategies and engage in course development, as well as the promotion of a moral education. We hope to share this international education with all schools.
The signing of the Sister School Alliance Agreement means that larger schools and smaller schools can have a more balanced development and also help all teachers prepare for changes associated with the government's 12-year education program.
Master Chen Yin visited Nantou as part of her tour around Taiwan on January 10th. Teachers and students from Nantou Education and Nursing Institute came to perform for the master, as well as give her bread they made themselves.
Residents of the Nantou Education and Nursing Institute gave a performance before the master. They learned it slowly and forgot it quickly, but they tried to catch up with the beat. After the Buddha Hall was opened in the institute, the teachers are amazed by the emotional change in the students.
After the Buddha Hall was opened, it was quite amazing that he voluntarily leads his classmates to prostrate to the statue several times a day.
During the talk, the master expresses her gratitude to recycling volunteers for their dedication to keep the earth clean, and Tzu Chi volunteers for raising love and money to help Syrian refugees.
Tzu Chi Volunteerism or Malaysia held a year-end aid distribution attended by 171 families. Everyone gathered like a family reunion to celebrate the upcoming Lunar New Year. Among the presents given were cooking oil and rice, which had been delivered to their homes to lighten up the gift packs. The attendees were very delighted to receive so many items as presents for the holiday.
Delivering cooking oil and rice ahead of the Lunar New Year, the volunteers also remind the care recipients to attend an upcoming aid distribution.
We thought the goods were heavy and some families couldn't walk freely, so they couldn't move all the goods together. That's why we gave them rice and cooking oil first. Then gift packs would become lighter.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Mua hold a year-end aid distribution, sharing New Year festivities. The care recipients join the volunteers like a big family to celebrate the holidays.
I'm superbly happy with so many brothers and sisters coming together. I'm extremely happy.
There is also sound from coins being collected. These families have brought the coin bags they have been saving up for a year because they too want to help people.
I can help as much as I can. When you and I join our efforts, it's much helpful.
The gift pack contains everything needed for the holiday. It brings smiles to Mr. Lin and his Hindu wife.
Untung, ，恭喜发财。
While celebrating the upcoming Lunar New Year, they also pray for world peace.
Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital is celebrating 10 years of operation. Aside from operating regular clinic services, it also offers mobile clinic care for those in the Lishan region, as well as other remote areas in central Taiwan. And in the event of major international disasters, the hospital is also one of the first to provide aid, showing their compassion and medical assistance extends beyond borders.
比我迄阵看的好真济啊啦！血压这么高啊？血压的药你有没有吃啊？休息那段时间剩好几个。
Over the past decade, the Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital's medical outreach service has reached places far and away.
只有这里完全没办法，就这样。这样，义诊王诊，我们做到的是。
For our medical outreach services, we want to cover a wide area and have a more in-depth check to see things that others may have ignored.
这个地方啊。
那选择走这里是因为武关那边也是道路状况不稳定，像前一阵的台风。
Beginning in February 2013, Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital's Chinese medicine department began servicing Lishan once every 2 weeks.
Transportation from Lishan is not convenient, and aside from the public health clinic, there aren't any other medical institutions.
你是住的比人家高，所以血压也比较高。
The whole round trip is about 10 hours. Every time we go, it takes 2 days, as we spend about half the time in traffic.
It's a great convenience for us, as we don't need to go down the mountain to see a doctor.
Going up and down the mountain made us understand the transportation problems for local residents. Also, the weather can cause them many troubles. So this is the driving force of why we offer this clinic.
我们每一年啊，在社区有
Each year, we have about 300 to 400 health lectures.
健康讲座。
Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital has been hosting regular health lectures and screening activities to promote preventative medicine in communities.
第一屆，你检查下有满意无？有啊，来遮做大家拢足好的，服务嘛真好。
We can feel everyone's enthusiasm, which is very important.
No matter if it's the city or remote areas, wherever healthcare services are needed, Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital will send medical professionals to this area.
Even some places which seem to have abundant resources may still lack proper medical treatment.
Where there is a need, Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital will go and host a clinic, no matter if it is in Taiwan or even abroad.
Globally, there are certain regions where there are some vulnerable groups, where you don't think we can provide medical services, but actually it is possible.
Looking back on the past decade, as well as looking into the future, Taichung Tzu Chi clinics are helping spread love and compassion and is providing far-reaching care everywhere.
66-year-old Zhang Zhi is a Tzu Chi volunteer in Taichung. Before she joined Tzu Chi, she suffered a stroke. After she started doing recycling with Tzu Chi volunteers, her condition improved. Now she lives her life with gratitude and contentment.
She is Zhang Zhi, who is stepping on plastic bottles nimbly. However, she once suffered from a stroke that left her with weak legs.
Thank you. I'm doing recycling in Tzu Chi because you brought me in.
The person Zhang Zhi is appreciating is Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Yin.
I told her to crush plastic bottles by stepping on them so she could move her arms and legs. She told me okay, and I told her to be diligent about it. This is how I brought her into Tzu Chi.
Zhang Zi uses recycling work as her physical therapies, and her body slowly improves. She now watches DaAi TV and has bidden farewell to depression.
It was the lowest point in my life, but I'd been doing recycling for a long time. I had the stroke on April 20th, 2002, and since May, I wore a diaper to begin doing recycling.
Zhang Zi's cousin Zhang Kunchang suffered from meningitis when he was little, but it has made him unable to speak clearly even until now at the age of 54. He lacks confidence and doesn't get along well with people. Thus, Zhang Zi brought him into Tzu Chi.
He does cleaning work in our office every Saturday. Many volunteers always greet him warmly, which makes him quite happy, and it makes my uncle happy too.
In addition, Zhang Zi's cousin and Zhang Zi also listen to Master's teachings, which helps them embrace a more optimistic and brighter life.
People who sit and work in the office must be aware that remaining in a same posture for a long time will cause numbness or pain in their elbows, and it can be a warning of a degeneration of their neck bones. Next, we meet a 52-year-old man in New Taipei City, Taiwan, who thought he had tennis elbow, but when in fact it was neck arthritis.
One 52-year-old man suffers from pain in one of his elbows, so painful that he can't even lift a pillow. He has thought it is due to overexertion of the elbow, causing him to have the tennis elbow. But therapists cannot cure it after a while.
The patient has pain on the outer part of his elbow, which is often seen in tennis elbow. But in addition to the pain, he also feels his arm is very weak. Then he tried therapies, but it was useless. Therefore, it made us to believe it wasn't tennis elbow.
Further examinations revealed that the symptom was caused by the degeneration of the neck bones. The left side shows normal neck bones, where an intervertebral disc lies between every two vertebrates. The right side shows degenerated neck bones, where there is not an intervertebral disc. And a bone spur has also grown, which puts pressure on the nerve.
Neck bone degeneration is relevant to aging and also one's posture, so we must maintain a correct position. Simply put, we must keep our head and body in one straight line and not to lower our head when we often use the cell phone, pad, or a computer notebook. We must not over-raise our head either.
Besides a correct sitting posture for office workers, we can also use exercises to train the neck muscles, like putting our right hand to the right side of our head and apply force to it while we counter it by strengthening our neck. We can do this for 5 seconds and then do the same thing to the front, the back, and the left side of our head, repeating it 10 times each side. In turn, we will help the neck bones from degeneration.
In response to Ethical Eating Day yesterday, a local Tzu Chi volunteer in Taoyuan, Taiwan, Yang Jingxue, had signed up over 2,000 participants. At the end of the program, we hope that if you missed out on Ethical Eating Day this year, you can still adopt one meal a day to go vegetarian, as the end result is to reduce our carbon footprint on a regular basis. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time.